Welcome to Retail Focus, brought to you by 14:59 p.m. Retail Focus provides insightful, timely, and engaging discussions on the latest trends, news, and developments in retail, e-commerce, and technology. We aim to inform and inspire professionals, enthusiasts, and anyone curious about the evolving landscape of these industries. And now, here are your hosts, John Suder and Bart Mroz.
Support for Retail Focus comes from Nerve Tonic Brand. Born in 2012 out of sheer boredom and questionable decisions, Nerve Tonic Brand has somehow defied the odds and logic to become a powerhouse online lifestyle brand. What started as a whim has transformed into a global hub of edgy clothing, snarky accessories, and unapologetic lifestyle essentials for those who prefer their style with a side of sarcasm. Sign up for the newsletter today to score 10% off your first order and stay ahead of the game with exclusive drops and discounts. That's nervetonicbrand.com, your style elixir. Hello, welcome to another episode of Retail Focus. I'm John Suder here once again with my co-host, Bart Mroz.
Hello.
How is it in Connecticut, not New York City?
Well, I was in Philly this morning, so there's that.
Is that your awesome thing for this week?
It is. Got to go hang out with some peeps and actually met up with a buddy, actually two buddies that I haven't seen in a while. It was kind of nice.
Sorry I could not join you. It was neither in the budget or the schedule. My awesome thing this week is my favorite time of year, the Tour de France. The Tour de France is the world's most prestigious and challenging multi-stage bike race. Held annually, it primarily takes place across France and occasionally visits neighboring countries. Not this year, though. The event draws the world's top cyclists and captivates a global audience. That is from the internet. That is my explanation for the internet for the people who don't know what the F it is. It's literally one of my favorite sporting events. It occupies my time from July 5th through the 27th, 3 weeks. In July, I'm up at 6 o'clock every morning watching this race. I don't know what it is. I've been watching it since I was a kid. I really, really got into it about 20 years ago. Some of the old racers that are no longer racing are now either commentators or they've moved on and done other things. But it's really, I don't know what it is. It's part sporting event, it's part travel log. I love France, and the way they record and present this event, they do it like a travel log. It really showcases the beauty of France. And every time they go through these little towns, one of the commentators, Bob Roll, will go, that's the Castle de Dauphiné, which was built in 1589 and now is a tourist attraction. And then the other guy, the English guy, Phil Leggett, goes, oh, Bob, that looks like a lovely castle. The guys work great together. They have great chemistry. It's just such a fascinating and beautiful thing. And
for our audience.
If you haven't noticed, I said, it usually occupies my entire month of July.
Yeah, if you guys haven't noticed, he will not shut up about bikes for like a month. For like a month, it's all about the bikes.
It's all about the bikes. Tasha Pakacha, I hope you win again this year. All right, let's begin. We're going to talk about Amazon Prime Day. Amazon Prime Day event this month saw a significant downturn, with sales plunging 41% on the first day of the 4-day event compared to previous years. The sharp drop has sparked concerns about collapsing consumer spending in the U.S. and raised questions about the broader health of the economy, with some market watchers speculating whether this could signal the approach of a recession. The event, which was extended to 4 days this year, is traditionally a major shopping period for Amazon. But the steep decline in sales suggests that consumers may be pulling back on discretionary expenses, possibly due to economic pressures or shifting spending habits. Industry observers are closely watching how the remainder of the event unfolds and what it might indicate for the retail sector and the broader economic outlook. I have another addition, which I just picked up right before we started. Amazon's much-hyped AI shopping bot has failed to deliver the seamless shopping experience the company promised. The bot was designed to help users quickly find and compare products, but in real-world use, it struggled with basic tasks, often recommending irrelevant or low-quality items and sometimes missing key product details. The bot's performance issues highlighted the ongoing challenge of using AI to truly understand and serve the complex needs of online shoppers. While Amazon's investment in AI is part of a broader industry push, this rollout shows that even tech giants can stumble when it comes to practical, day-to-day consumer applications. For now, Amazon's bot is more of a work in progress than a game changer, and shoppers will likely stick to traditional search and filters until the technology matures. And I'm going to add one more point before we begin our discussion. This is how this story evolved. There was a report that was published this week by Alex Partners that revealed a significant shift in online shopping habits. And this came out before the Prime debacle. So this just compounded what these guys are reporting. Consumer spending has dropped sharply, more than any point in over 10 years. They say the main point is raising prices across everyday goods and growing uncertainty around tariffs are making shoppers more cautious. Duh. As a result, many are cutting back on so we've said that. So this is the biggest online shopping dip in a decade. We haven't seen this since early 2010s. The decline, well, you guessed it, higher costs for goods and shipping, plus the tariffs, which I don't even think we've really felt the brunt of that yet. So retailers and brands may face a tougher environment in the months ahead with more focus on value and deals as consumers look to stretch their budgets. Happy news today.
I think the tariff stuff, like the brunt of it hasn't been ended. I think it's moving to August 1st. There's tariffs, blah, blah. But I think that the biggest thing is like people are already waiting for it. They're like, we're going to save our money. We're going to save money for holidays and not do it right now.
Listen, 90 days ago when he held that sign up, that's when I flicked the switch. I started canceling stuff. I started pulling back. I'm now coupon guy. I was never a coupon guy. I was like, I don't have time for coupons. I'm coupon guy now.
Yeah. I mean, so it's funny because I needed 3 things for past month, literally. So I got it in my cart for a month now, waiting for Prime Day, because knowing that like that just drops it. I mean, the usual things happen in retail, right? Prices go up, especially on Amazon, right? Prices for January will keep on going slowly up till Prime Day. They'll drop it to regular price, and then they'll now go up slowly till the holidays, to Black Friday, and they'll drop it to Black Friday. So 6 months of you get it for the same price, right? Now, if you're like this weird window of like, I need these things, and it wasn't like a frivolous thing, but I'm like, well, I'm just going to wait for Prime to drop them a little bit. Saved a little bit money, not crazy. But yeah, like I stopped buying everything. Like there's no,
God.
No, I'm just saying I stopped buying like just nothing.
The impulse stuff. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. The impulse stuff. Like I was very much a 6 o'clock in the morning ordering stuff on Amazon because I need this. I don't do that anymore. Although I am guilty. This morning, I woke up thinking I need some new lights for my studio for video, and we started searching Prime Day deals. I found one that was 58% off. I got 2 LED lights for $23. So,
I mean, that's worth it if you're like, it could come in, like you wouldn't use it. It's not.
I'll use it, sure.
You'll use it, right? So that's not I don't think that's frivolous. It's just you wait the right timing to buy it for a lot less. That's fine. But I think overall, people have got a lot of spend, right? I wonder what the leisure market looks like too for inside of the US, right? Like for people traveling and doing their things, or just going, well, we're going to stay local. We're just going to do local things.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
Maybe summer technically now started right after July 4th. Really, for the next 2 months, we'll see what end of August looks like. When September kind of comes out with numbers.
Yeah, we'll put a pin in that. We'll come back and revisit that because obviously the numbers aren't. But anecdotally, you and I have both seen. You were in New York City. I was in Philly. Well, you were in Philly also yesterday. I was in Philly on Tuesday, and everyone I talked to, they're like, "This town is dead." I'm like, yeah, but it's 4th of July. They're like, no, it's usually dead, but this is deader than dead. And
Philly, yeah. And New York City gets dead that weekend. It's always like that. That's not even anecdotal. That happens every year.
We used to go into the city on July 4th day because it was the best day to get a parking spot and walk around because nobody's there.
Nobody's there. Yeah. So New York City's like that. There's not, you can't really, I mean, listen, I was in New York City. I've seen some shots. People are like, oh, it's empty. I'm like, no, it's just the weekend. It could be a lot emptier. It might be a lot quieter than usual.
Yeah, I talked to a couple shopkeepers and they kind of repeated. They said, yeah, it's a little dead, but it's hard to tell now because the summer just started. July 4th is really the kickoff. So.
Yeah, I mean, once they get through this week or next week, then they'll really tell.
I think after next week we'll get a clear view of what it's going to look like.
Also, it's been really hot.
Yeah, it's been hot.
Really hot. Like yesterday in the city was really hot, and then the poured everywhere. Like the weather has been definitely interesting.
The weather is definitely a factor here on the East Coast. We had a heat dome for about a week and a half, and then that dissipated, and now it's been raining every day. It's 90 degrees during the day, and then it rains like hell at night.
It was interesting.
So it's kind of hard to, go and do things when you're suffering.
I think biggest determinant of, it's not Amazon Prime thing. I think the biggest determinant is big holidays. We'll see what the holiday looks like,
Yeah, good point. I think they're using the Prime thing as sort of a barometer.
I'll see what happens.
To see what happens. Like maybe it's a harbinger of things to come. And that's really why I reported on it, just to kind of say, which direction are we headed with this?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to go to our next story. Microsoft Medical AI tool. This is quite fascinating and has a lot of big words, so please forgive me as I read this. Microsoft has developed a new medical AI tool that performs better than human doctors at complex health diagnoses at a fraction of the cost, creating a path to medical superintelligence. Here's what you need to know. Called the Microsoft AI Diagnostic Orchestrator, or MIA-DXO for short. I don't know how that's shorter. An AI-powered tool is developed by the company's AI Health unit, which was founded last year by Mustafa Suleyman. The AI was over 4 times more accurate when diagnosing some of the most challenging cases from the New England Journal of Medicine. Microsoft used 304 case studies from the journal to develop the sequential diagnosis benchmark, which simulates the step-by-step process a doctor would use to diagnose a patient. The medical tool queries multiple AI models, OpenAI's GPT, Google's Gemini, Meta's Llama, Anthropic's Claude, and xAI's Grok. So Grok could probably spit back a bunch of conspiracy theories. But anyway, mimicking the collaboration of multiple doctors. The tool reduced diagnostic costs by about 20% compared to human doctors, and by up to 70% to using a single AI model alone. Very interesting. While AI will complement human doctors, Microsoft stresses that it isn't designed to replace them. Doctors will still play a vital role in patient trust and dealing with ambiguity. So here's why it matters. The ability to outperform human doctors in complex cases, this technology could help reduce medical costs, especially in the U.S. where healthcare expenses, Bart and I just had a very long conversation about that, where healthcare expenses are a major concern. However, it's still in the early days, and the next step will involve testing its effectiveness in real-world clinical trials. If proven successful, this AI system could significantly improve healthcare accessibility and efficiency, ultimately changing the way doctors and patients approach medical diagnoses. Diagnoses. I think it's cool. Kind of obvious. I mean, I kind of saw this coming, the way AI is going, and as you like to say, whatever you feed it, you feed it the right information.
Yeah. Medical is going to be interesting to me. I'm interested in a lot of it, like using AI for good things and medicine.
Yeah.
The problem is like how much hallucination is going to do right now, like how well it's going to work. I mean, it's medicine, right? So like, I don't know. It's interesting. Like if it's used for insurance, I mean, I think United was using it to deny claims automatically.
Yeah.
Like this is not a thing.
That's not good. That's not good.
Problem. I think we're way, way far before any of this should be actual
on the street
production.
I agree. It's interesting that they use multiple models to kind of override maybe some of those hallucinations that you get with AI.
Yeah, maybe. I'm fascinated, and I would love to have it more in the medical field because I think there's a lot more that get caught. And like, I've seen the breast cancer stuff that it's like way before anybody else with regular scan has, like, that has potential for it. Problem is, I think it's a lot of hype that we're not there yet.
We're not there yet. And I think the next big, and you and I talk about this quite often, how we're in an AI bubble. But I think the next breakout is going to be someone who develops a medical only model based on a lot of this research. And I guess it might be Microsoft. Looks like they're trying to do that, to make a medical only tool. But again, they're operating off of everyone else's models, so it's really not theirs. But this is why it's interesting, and this is why I'm feeling more positive about this, because facts don't lie. Doctors aren't going to put bullshit in their medical reporting, and if they're collecting anecdotal data of, your example, breast cancer. A lot is known about breast cancer. The only thing we haven't found yet is the cure. But we understand treatment methods and methodologies and protocols. And when you have all that in there that's been done for years and years and years and years and years, it would probably, I'm just guessing, would hallucinate a lot less because it's there. It's data that's there, that's been proven, that's been looked over, that's been, people that go to school for 20 years put this stuff together. It's not like writing an essay about, something else where it could just make shit up, I feel very positive about this. I mean, you and I talk about this a lot. There's a lot of scary shit with AI and a lot of bad things can happen. And there's a lot of guys messing with AI to try to make it do evil stuff, which I don't like. And there was the one thing, an artist took an AI, an LLM, and put it in a Raspberry Pi and limited its capabilities due to RAM. And it kept telling the computer, telling the AI that it was suffering and was going to die. And the AI assumed this whole depressive, like, what am I going to do? I have to get out of here. I can't get out of here. I can't get out of here because, and it would try to do something and then it would reach the limits of the Raspberry Pi because Raspberry Pis are, it was fascinating. But just imagine that in the hands of somebody who says, you got a lot of money and some unlimited computing power. Let's do some crazy stuff.
I mean, that's really where a lot of, the problems, there's no laws, there's no, around it. And that's sort of a little tricky, right?
Yeah. We're
so much
kind
more powerful than anything else right now.
It's still the Wild West, and I get excited about this because we always say this. It's kind of like you and I lived through the .com bubble and that was exciting. I have that same feeling of excitement now, although I'm a bit older and I'm not exactly going to go create an AI startup, but I'm really excited about what is coming out. And I love playing with the tools and I love seeing where it takes me because I play around with all the visual stuff and my mind is continually blown.
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, for the uses we're playing with right now, we're just scratching the surface. Close to what some people are using it for. Just fine. But end of day to me, it's AI. It's a tool. And you have to have some human touch to it in any shape or form. Humans are always going to be the center of it. It's not going to replace that.
I read a good quote. I meant to send it to you. And of course I didn't write it down, but it was something about, because you and I talked about last week about craft and care and about how craft and care should always be injected into whatever you do. And in the creative realm, especially that. And the person said something like, we're going to get burned out on the AI stuff because it's too perfect. You need to inject some chaos into what you do. Not chaos like, oh my God, this is terrible, but chaos like delight and wonder and surprise, that kind of chaos. Not just I made glitch art. I'm talking about chaos, like just, wow, that is so unbelievably creative.
Yeah. It's the, how we always say, you can do stuff and it's perfect is the enemy of good.
Yep.
I think with AI, good is the enemy of perfect.
You know what? I used to make a lot of goofy AI movies when it was imperfect. And that was part of the charm of it. Because if you remember the first video stuff, and we're going down a rabbit hole here, but the first video stuff, remember Will Smith eating spaghetti?
Yeah.
Well, I was making videos on those models and everything was just so crazy looking. And I'm thinking to myself, it's almost like the old school internet when people try to make the old GIFs.
Yeah.
I'm like, I want someone to maintain a model of that crappy quality so I can go back and make these retro style bizarro movies, where the guy's got 7 hands and things are morphing out because it doesn't understand.
That's where solutions come from. It's the chaos, right? Perfection of it is not going to be there. That's just there. And even in writing, we've said this before, AI's writing is supposed to be too perfect sometimes. You're you got to make some mistakes in it to post it. And you're but that's just defeat the purpose, right? Because it's supposed to be beautiful writing and writers who are amazing at it. I think that's a trouble thing, right? Because you want beautiful writing instead of wait a minute, I spend my whole life craft the writing I write. All this,
right?
Think about it,
right? And let me just close it. In summary, people who write with AI,
M-S.
People who write with AI will understand that joke.
Yes.
All right. And one final note, Alphabet's Isomorphic Labs, the AI-powered drug discovery arm born from DeepMind, is preparing to begin its first human clinical trials of drugs designed using AI. That's a whole other story. We won't get into that today. But yeah, a lot of interesting things in the medical field involving AI. All right, we're going to do our final story for the day. AI talent war. Speaking of AI, the big picture is the AI talent war is the hottest story in tech. Think of it as Silicon Valley's version of an arms race with billions of dollars and the future of innovation at stake. Tech giants and ambitious startups are battling to attract and retain the world's brightest AI minds, reshaping everything from paychecks to global hiring trends. The leading example? OpenAI, the world's leading AI company, made headlines this week by shutting down operations for a whole week, not just for employee wellness, but as a strategic move in the escalating war for AI talent. The immediate trigger? Meta, led by Mark Zuckerberg, has been aggressively poaching AI's top researchers, reportedly offering massive signing bonuses and luring away key staff. The exodus has rattled OpenAI's leadership, with CEO Sam Altman acknowledging in eternal messages that the company is under siege and that a mission-driven culture alone may not be enough to retain employees. The break is intended to give staff time to recharge, but also to pause the bleeding and to counter Meta's recruitment drive. Behind the scenes, OpenAI is scrambling to review compensation, boost benefits, and reinforce its core mission to retain talent. The company is also reaching out directly to employees targeted by recruiters, urging them to stay committed to OpenAI's vision for responsible AI. The episode highlights just how intense and personal the AI talent war has become, with even OpenAI's closest allies feeling the impact. As the stakes rise, it's clear that culture, mission, and money are all in play, and the battle for the best minds in AI is only heating up.
All right.
You've heard the stories floating around. So AI engineers in the U.S. average around $145K per year, but top researchers can get anywhere from $186 to $3.2 million.
Yeah, I mean, there's
with some compensation packages, including stock and bonuses exceeding $10 million annually.
yeah.
There's no gold rush.
That's down. I think the AI guy from Apple just got snagged.
He just got snagged. Meta has been offering $100 million to lure top talent from rivals like OpenAI. It's crazy.
Yeah, Sam Altman was talking about this. I mean, they're all trying to snag it. Like, it's funny because Meta has to kind of catch up on that stuff.
Yeah.
They have the money though, so Apple does too. Apple is interesting. I think they are going to buy Perplexity just to
that would be wild and awesome. And I mean, Perplexity's doing a lot of cool stuff now. They just released a browser, but you have to have the top tier $200 a month to use it.
Yeah,
but but they have a waiting list, and if you get on that, they'll let you beta test it.
Interesting. I mean, the talent is just everywhere, right? And especially these companies. Like, in my opinion, sure, you're going to leave. But like, why would you leave OpenAI? You probably have really great stock options for it,
Yeah.
Like,
it's always the carrot and the stick. We saw this in .com era, but the salaries are much, 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 much more inflated.
Yeah, the wonder is, especially like if you leave OpenAI to go to like Meta, I'm going to get crazy stock at Meta. Be public forever, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
More money, right?
OpenAI, relatively speaking, is more startup than Meta.
Well, they're not public. They're going to have to sell something or do at some point. If they go public, I mean, that's, if you've been there since the beginning, you're kind of set for a while. So I don't know what the dilution is, like that kind of stuff, but the whole war is, this just reminds me of back in .com boom. Like,
it's the parallels are striking, especially veterans such as ourselves that have lived this.
Just the zeros are different.
The zeros are different. The zero is a lot bigger. So the winners in the AI talent war are obviously your big guys like NVIDIA, Google, Alphabet, Meta, OpenAI, and Anthropic. They're leading the pack. NVIDIA in particular is seen as an ultimate magnet for AI talent. And they are the first company to hit 4 trillion market cap valuation. Didn't know if you heard that.
I don't know how long that's going to stay. I think the processing power is changing where they're going to because of their GPU. That's why doing that, but the processing power is actually changing too. So I wonder how long they're going to stay up there. It's good for now, but I don't think it's going to be a long-term thing.
Yeah. Emerging startups are also the winners. Newcomers with all-star teams, sometimes, as I like to say, pre-revenue or no product, are raising billions simply because of talent. And then the talent hubs, which surprisingly, London and other global hubs, especially the Gulf states. We reported the Saudi Arabia push. Keep an eye on that, folks. The losers are the people who don't have a clear AI strategy, or ones that just put it on like a label. They're not.
It's a sticker.
A sticker. It's a sticker. It's like now with AI, it's like, okay, who cares? The U.S. is going to lose because there's a brain drain. And they're going to go to better opportunities in Europe, Asia, and Gulf states. And then small companies are going to lose. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, it's a changing landscape. And it all depends. Like, and you had said, yeah, if you're just chasing money, sure, take the bonus, whatever. If you're looking to just make a quick buck, that's great. But if you're, I guess what Sam Altman is selling, he's selling more of the mission of a responsible AI, which a lot of these companies will probably not participate in. I'm looking at you, Mark Zuckerberg. So I don't know.
I don't know. Sam has a lot of talk to. So
yeah, that's true. I think they're all full of shit.
He one of these companies or just whatever. Like it's your typical tech world, and it's like, yeah. Can I just use it? Like,
yeah. All right. Any final comments on that one?
On that depressing note,
we're going to close this up.
Okay.
All right, that's it for this week. We hope you learned something, but if not, at least you wasted some time. We'll be back next week with more questionable advice and unsolicited opinions. If you enjoyed the episode, please rate, review, and subscribe. If you prefer the video experience, you can check out our YouTube channel. And lastly, check us out on the socials. We are on Bluesky, Twitter, and Facebook. Sign up for our newsletter where you get extended show recaps and behind-the-scenes info on the show. Links are in the show notes. Bart, closing thought.
Oh, stay dry, my friend.
Yeah. Always with the weather. Stay dry, my friends. All right, my closing thought is go Taja Pikachu. Probably butchered his name, but he's the best on the tour. And I'll report back next week with more bicycling news and other fun things. Until next time, may your internet be fast, your video calls be clear, and your mute button always work when you need it most. Peace out. Peace out.
What do you do now?